All right, so today I'd like to show you the idea of using what's known as a nested if statement. This is also known as a follow-up question in more colloquial speech, and what I want to use this for is to make a decision. So if you think about any software program you've ever used, there's a whole bunch of different options on here, and I'm looking at my Schoology, I can click courses or groups or resources or more or whatever across the top, and depending on which one of those options I choose, I'm going to have a whole different set of options. So when I click courses, it knows to bring up the list of my courses. When I click groups, it'll bring that up. If I go to the home page, it'll do all that. Similarly, I'm going to show you all how to nest one if statement inside of another to be able to handle a follow-up question or a new set of commands based on what the user decided. And the example I'm going to give you is about Star Wars. So this first question right here is, do you like the prequels or the original Star Wars trilogy better? I like to also, if I'm asking the person to answer a question, I like to just make them choose A or B, or 1 or 2. It's just easier, that way I don't have to worry about them spelling thing wrong. So the simplest thing we could have done would have been to say, if the answer is 1, then print out some sort of statement saying, what's wrong with you, the prequels were terrible. Else, they must have hit 2, yeah, the original one's better. So let's just say the person hits 2, which, wisely they should, obviously. I said 2, there we go. Oh, but look at this. It doesn't now just quit. The program's still running. It's asked me a follow-up question. And now the follow-up question says, which one of these do you like the best? New Hope, Empire, or Return of the Jedi? This would not have happened if I would have said prequels. It would have presented with me other options. So obviously Return of the Jedi is the best one. And it says second best movie in my humble opinion. Okay, well this code's wrong. If it weren't for the stupid Ewoks, I would have... Okay, fair. Yeah, the Ewoks kind of ruined that. That's a pretty awesome movie. So if I go back to this code and I run this again, and I say, yeah, I like the original trilogy better, it still brings up these options. Let's pick Empire this time, and obviously, best one, yeah, sure, fantastic. But what's different is if the answer to my first question says prequels are better, it doesn't ask me about New Hope, Empire, or Return of the Jedi. It's going to ask me a whole nother set of questions right there and say, which one of these did you like the best? Now, this is a big deal. This is a really big deal because it doesn't just quit. It's then asking me a whole new set of questions based on my answer to the first one. Well, I know which one's the worst one on here. Phantom Menace for sure. And it's like, what? Just get out. All right, fine. Fantastic. I don't blame you. Let's try this one again. I like the prequels better. And of the prequels, the only one that was even close to decent was Revenge of the Sith. And it's like, yeah, definitely the best one. So the way I'm going to set this up is pretty easy. You know how to set up an if statement. So let's say my question was, what language do you speak, right? And if the person says English, if answers English, then print out hello. And otherwise, if it's Spanish, say hola. If they say French, bonjour. If they say, I don't know, Mandarin, ni hao. If they say anything else, I'm sorry, I don't speak that. We can set this up. What I want to do then is not just stop right here, but if they say hello, I then want it to say, okay, what country are you from? And then we're going to have a whole new set of ifs right there. So if their answer is USA, then I want it to print like, howdy or something like that, or America, whatever. If they say United Kingdom, then maybe it should say hello, governor, or something, right? Like I want to ask a question that will only show up if they answer this way. And if they say Spain, then maybe I come down here and say, well, Mexico or Venezuela or Cuba, or like, where are you from, right? Like I want a set of follow-up questions to only be triggered if they answer this way. Just like on my menu up here, I only want it to show up the list of courses if I click on the course button. If I hit groups and my courses showed up, that would be very wrong. So the way we're going to do that is pretty easy. It all has to do with indents. So fall 2020 notes, unit 1, I'm going to make a new file right here. And we're going to call this, you guessed it, if. Let's just call it nested if. Nested if, and I'll hit my little snippets. By the way, if you guys haven't used snippets yet, you need to look into that. And I'll get rid of the extra credit business there for the last skill check. So the first answer I'm going to do is, let's just call it language. And I'm going to say, what language do you speak? And I'm just going to force their answer to be lowercase because I don't want to have to worry about it. So if the language is equal to English, so notice how I said English, even though it's a proper noun, it's lowercase because I made that lowercase. If it's this, then blah, 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 blah. I'm going to print out stuff, and I'm going to leave some spaces in here. Elif lang is equal to Spanish, then I'm going to print out stuff here, and I'll worry about the Mandarin and the French and everything else later. This program is going to give up print, I do not speak that language, sorry. So here's the idea. If they say English, if the answer to this question up here, which I've nicknamed lang for language, is equal to, doubles equal signs, the word English, it's going to do everything that is tabbed over until it finds the next line down here. And so far, we've only ever had it just print out one thing, or maybe two things. But you could have a whole bunch of other stuff that exists down here that it will do. It will know to quit running the English routine or to quit doing whatever English triggers once it finally gets to the next line that's not indented. So everything that is indented to this level or beyond in this line right here is going to run if your answer is the word English. So if I want to ask a follow-up question, what I'm going to do is just repeat this whole idea of ask a question up here, ask question, oops, and then down here, make decision. So inside, I need another new variable. This is a big idea. Don't use the word lang again because I've already used that one. So how about this one? I'll call it lang English equals input, and then we can see if it's some sort of follow-up question. English, huh? Which country? Or better than yet, let's do this. Let's do this. Where are you from? Right? And we'll come up with some more options. So I have to keep everything that I want to happen if English is triggered tucked in to at least this level. So I have to come down here and say if lang, oops, come on, lang English equals, how about USA? Oh, see, but I don't have to worry about uppercase or lowercase again. So I'm going to come over here, and this time I'll make it upper since USA is supposed to be capitalized anyway. This will just work out prettier. If it is, then I want to print out like, oh, hello there, fellow American, right? So if they say something else, maybe they say something like Elif lang English equals, I don't know, maybe they're from England. Now notice, because I said capitalized right there, I have to spell the entire, or because I said upper right there, I have to spell the entire word England with caps right there. I want these guys to print out, and you guys can come up with your little thing like, let's just do something, hello, govna, like that. That's a British thing to do, right? Elif lang English, I can spell, I guess use tab to autocomplete, equals Australia. Then I can get, and I'll print out you, I don't know, you are upside down. Right, and look at this. This whole thing right here, this whole block is all tabbed over inside of this line right there. So all of this stuff is only going to run if and only if the first answer was the word English. So I got to come down here and do my else. Print, somewhere else in the English-speaking world, I guess. All right, so now when I hit run on this thing, what language do you speak? And if I say Spanish, it won't know what to do yet. If I say Mandarin, it won't know what to do yet. But if I say I speak English, it's going to say, oh, English, where are you from? And I'm going to say something like, oh, I don't know, USA, of course. Oh, hello there, fellow American. But if I run this code again and I say English, and then I say, where are you from? Well, Australia, haha, you are upside down. So it's still going to repeat this whole idea of ask a question right here, ask a question, and then use an if statement with some elifs and an else to decide how to handle that thing. If you want to ask a follow-up question that's specific that will only run if this was their answer, then you just repeat this whole process all over again about ask a question, use if statements, but it all has to be tabbed over inside. And you'll notice when I highlighted this whole thing, I have these options here of cut, copy, tab, and untab. You can highlight a whole block of text and move it around like so. This is going to fail miserably. This is going to run no matter what happens if I say English because it doesn't tab in. It's not associated with that answer. So I want to tuck this whole thing in one tab spot like there. All right. So just to confirm that this thing works, I'm just going to say hola if it says Spanish. What language do you speak? Well, I speak Spanish, and it's going to say hola. And you'll notice up here in the very top right-hand side that X is grayed out. Up by the clear button, up by the clear button, it's grayed out because the code's no longer running. That's it. It skipped this whole block because it did this block instead. We're going to play around with this a whole bunch on Friday.